So, and now a little tutorial about patterns, how to make them. I mean, there are a lot of very nice patterns out there. So some of my favorite ones, for example, are these topographic patterns, um, which give you a very nice wavy effect. But then there are so many other kinds of patterns that you can find. So if we just do something like this and then look at the number of pages, we have 200, but I promise you this is much more than 200. But what you want to focus on is finding seamless patterns, which means that they continue, they don't kind of break at the end of the file. There are dot patterns, halftone patterns that you can use. Lots and lots of choices. And then there are also pattern generators online. So here's one called Pattern Monster, which I have used sometimes, and it gives very nice results. Like these scale patterns, for example, are really nice. They have all these different kinds of Memphis patterns. So there's certainly no shortage, and I have quite a few on my own drive here if you want to take a look there. However, one of the cool things to do is to actually create your own patterns. So what I did is I got this mock-up here, and this is what it has ended up becoming. Now this is what it was like, and when I double click on this here, then we go to the old file. This is what the pattern was like, but mine, you will hopefully admit, looks a whole lot cooler than that, and I made my own pattern for that, and I'm going to take you through how I actually made that. So I've already done this, and I have the background and everything, so I don't want to screw that up. I'll come back to that eventually to explain to you about the background and so on, but I'm going to kind of continue here for now. So let's just open this and close the eye, and now let's actually go and take a look at what I did. So I selected the famous lion cat, which I then copy pasted into Photoshop. So I just did it again. Then what I did is I made white the background, because I'm going to increase the canvas size. So the canvas size is different from the image size, and I know I promised you a tutorial about that, not one that I made. I'm very bad at explaining that, but to find something that somebody else has made. But anyway, for now, the canvas size will just increase the size of the work area without any resolution changes. So I'm just going to move this arrow to the bottom, and I'm just going to go, the height I want to make 200% for now. Then what I'm going to do is, now, okay, before I do that, actually, let me just do this, close this. Now, how do you make a pattern in Photoshop? And then how do you apply it? So you select the entire canvas. However, you don't do it with the Control A. You go to the marquee tool, then you go all the way around it, then you go to Edit, Define Pattern, give it a name. Always give things a name. And here's your first pattern. Now let me open a new layer here. Let me make the fill 0, and then let me go to Layer Style, Pattern Overlay, and Cat. So this is what it would look like. Okay? So nice enough, you might say, but it's not really doing a whole hell of a lot, is it? Now I just realized that there's another pattern on top of this one which I need to close so that you can see the pattern that I just made. So how can I improve upon this? How can I make this nicer? Now let's go back and do what we did again. Just going to open that. Image, canvas size, down, percent, 200. Now I'm going to take the cat, make a duplicate, go to transform, rotate 180 degrees, and then move him up just so that he's touching. Then crop, and now let's make a pattern and let's see what happens with that. Again, I've selected with the marquee tool, not the Control A. Then go back to define pattern and cat 2. Now let's go back to this here and let's do this one, and aha, as you can see we have a problem because they are not matching up exactly, because they are not seamless. You see, we have to make it seamless so that it continues on all sides. Now let's go back to here. Now I'm going to go to canvas size again, but this time I'm going to go to the bottom left hand corner. I'm going to make percent again, 200 and 200. So what has happened is I now have this whole big area. I'm going to take these two guys, group them, and move it up, and then say transform, flip horizontal, so that they are now actually a continuation of each other. Here and here, so that we don't get these funny breaks. Although you might say to yourself, I like those funny breaks, I don't mind if there are funny breaks, but if you take a look, it looks kind of strange. It doesn't really look like a cat, does it? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another group, make a copy of that one, and now move it over. And now let's make, oh, hold on just one sec. I seem to have slipped a bit. Need to move up. Right. Now let's make another pattern and let's see what happens with that one. Cat 3. So now let's go back to here and cat 3, and we seem to have a little line which I don't like, which I will fix in a minute. Much better, but it can get better, and also we need to get rid of that line. So that line seems to be happening because we have a little bit missing at the top and the bottom. So I'm just going to unlink the transform thing and make this go up by just 100.05%, just so that that line disappears. Okay? Whoops. So define pattern, cat 3. Now we still seem to have it. So that means that we need to do the transform thingy again and again. Just increase let's say 0.1%. Because we do not want to have that split. I was hoping it was going to override, but it isn't. So I'm going to have to go in and do a whole lot of cleanup. This is quite strange because it does not seem to want to go away. And I can't see it here, which is good news. Well, I still can see it here. So I don't know what to tell you, people. I seem to have a problem. Let's see, do I have it here? No. There shouldn't be any problem whatsoever. I don't understand it. Ah, okay, finally it's gone. Now, let's continue with this one. What I think I want to do is this one here. No, it's this one here. I think I want to make that so that the cats face each other. Now let's make another selection. Again, this one is now going to be cat 4. And now it's sitting perfectly. However, how about if I want to have a bigger pattern? Now this is 100%, and the thing with the layer style is that unfortunately you can't go up, as is the case with all bitmap stuff. You can go down to 75% or 50% or 25%, but nothing in between. So it's 25, 50, 75. And that's all you get, and nothing bigger than 100. So if I make it 25%, it's going to be this teeny tiny thing. Let's go back to 100. But I want it to be bigger. I want the cats to be even bigger. So how do I do that? Because see here, I have them really big. What I do is I just increase the image size of this document, because everything is vector, so I don't have any trouble doing that. So I'm just going to make this 200%, and again redefine the pattern now that it's a much bigger document, cat 5. And as you can see, His Majesties are quite a bit bigger now. In fact, they are as big as I have them right here. However, I can even go bigger. Let's do it again. And let's make one more pattern. Cat 6, and let's get back to here. And now I have two huge cats, and actually I like that quite a bit, I have to say. However, if I do it like that, then I think what I would do actually is I would flip them in the opposite direction so that one face is here. Or should I leave it like this? Maybe I should leave it like this. Maybe I should Huh. Well, let's try it. Again, define pattern, cat 7, back to here, I don't know, it doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. Okay, so that's it for how you define patterns in Photoshop. Now make sure that you have something that is seamless, that repeats itself, so that you don't get any strange breaks. You can make patterns bigger by increasing the image size. What you cannot do is when you have a pattern overlay, you can only go up a size 200%. But it's a good idea to make a big one, because you can go smaller, you can go 50%, you can go 75%, and you can go 25%. Anything in between is going to give you a wonky result. It may or may not end up working. You can try it for sure, but let me just show you. When you go up to 150%, let's say, then you will be losing clarity. Things will start getting blurry. So always stay below 100, at 100% or below. Okay, so now let's get back to here. What else did I do? I kept the color of the label that they had. I liked that. I tried a few different things, but then in the end I decided to leave it like that. I did add a gradient to the I changed the color of the background. It was red, as you can remember, if you look right here, red, red, red. I made that gray, and then remember what I had said, that I would put a gradient on top of everything. In this case that was very easy. All I needed to do was to select this layer, the mask. I needed to select the mask, make a new layer, and then just put the gradient on there, and the shadow and everything was there already. So that was that. That was how I made it. And I will see you later.